Hey everyone, welcome to a game of Age of Empires with me, Avian, and my buddy 7even. Kind of a weird one here. 7even's audio didn't work for this at all, so I figured I would try and do a little bit of a casting or a play talk over through a playthrough. I'm on the Byzantines, go figure, and 7even's playing his Ayyubids. And we'll just kind of talk through this one. Both of us haven't played this in well over a week. So we're kind of sitting at that mid-plat area and dusting off the cobwebs, whatever you want to call it. Kind of go through this. So 7even sends his scout up to the north. I send mine kind of to the south. And we kind of start our opening. So all I'm looking for is getting that 10 off the initial wood. We'll drop a nice little farm in close. House is down, and then I will go up to I think 8 on food and 3 on gold, or 7. It's actually 7 on food and 3 on gold. In the meantime, I'm just sending my scout out and around. So I've already seen the Delhi scout. Delhi scout kind of came down into this area, so I figured I'd duck in behind him, and then I catch him actually coming back up here again. So a little bit of indecisiveness. I decide maybe I'm just going to go and scout back down through here. Meanwhile, 7even's just doing what he does best, and he somehow manages to pick up all the sheep. Doesn't need them on Ayyubids, but picks them all up anyways. Still going here, so I'm just looking. There's my third onto gold, and now all I'm going to do is focus all of my production onto sheep or onto food here until I'm ready to age up. I think at this point I noticed that I only have 1 sheep left, so I had him kind of going down and around this way, but we'll send him back towards the base just to drop those off and then keep going. I wasn't entirely sure what to do with this panel. I figured I would just leave it on current resources for now, just so we can see what's happening. If you play Ayyubids at all, you can kind of see that 7even at this point forgot to drop down his House of Wisdom early, so he still had that weird 50 floating around. He called himself on it. He was like, "Oh shoot, I forgot to drop down the house," which is fine because as soon as this actually goes up, he'll have the resources to do it anyways. Myself, I'm putting down the Grand Winery there on the berries. I think I sent 5 over to age up, but really all I want is 4. And then what I'm going to do is pull an additional 2 off of this food here and send them over to wood. And my goal here is to just rally till I have 10 on wood. So ignoring everything else, rallying until I have 10 on wood. That 4 on food lets me have a constant villager production. And getting the 10 onto the wood lets me eventually build up so that I can start dropping some production when the age up comes through. Scouting, just want to clean up some of this darkness. Just so we have some idea of what's over here. I know that his scout's already come through here, but I figured I'd just go up the path. He's missed a few sheepies in here anyway, so we'll go and grab those. And at this point, we were kind of talking about what we wanted to do. So 7even wasn't sure if he wanted to go and do his fast castle build. Kind of talking about what Delhi does. We knew Delhi was going to go probably for those sacred sites, either going to do it as quickly as possible, or maybe push in with an army first. We really weren't sure, so I think at this point we were saying we were going to go see if we could scout anything. 7even sends a scout forward, and it really is that kind of like lull in the game where should be scouting, should be seeing what they're doing, getting ready for the age up, making sure that all the boxes are checked. I figured, knowing the way that 7even plays his Ayyubids, that there'd be desert raiders coming through, so I wanted to protect at least the food. On Gorge, the gold is nice and protected, so there's no point in doing anything here. So I do get this up in time for everything. I think we just get this nice ring of vision here, and then when the age up comes through, it's time to start looking at upgrades and all that kind of thing. So I really want to do wheelbarrow. I like to get the border settlements down quickly. I'm also trying to figure out where to put the second cistern. So in this case, rather than having that nice little box with a cistern here, I decided to kind of offset it a little bit. This way I get a nice amount of influence into the wood line and onto the stone. And you'll notice that I've got a couple of funky things going on here, right? Like I'm housed. I didn't have enough for a house. I didn't have enough for a lumber camp. Just a little bit strange on the age up there. I don't normally go for a tower, so I'll blame that. But house goes down, villager comes through. I'll drop a lumber camp here as soon as this hits 50. I think as this comes through, I'll decide to pull these off, and oh, maybe I wait for a bit. Hang on. Right, want to connect the cisterns first. So connect the cisterns, and then there should be a lumber camp any second now. There it is. Lumber camp going through, and in the meantime, 7 evens figured out. Oh, yeah, there's the desert raiders coming through. What we don't know what's happening here is what Delhi's doing behind this, right? So this scout, great, we're clearing up some of that darkness. My scout's not doing much over here. Really should be poking in just to see what's happening here. And from here we just kind of do Byzantine things. I've switched this one over to be research. That way I can get the wheelbarrow coming through, get the horticulture. The house has already done that border settlements upgrade just so I get a little more vision and drop them down faster if I need to. I've gone up to 10 on wood. Now I'm going to start rallying back onto food, or I should. And as soon as I hit over that 150, right? So drop the mercenary house. And with Byzantines, you get to kind of make the call on which contract you want to take. I think I end up taking, in most cases, I end up taking the longbowman contract. I think that's the western one. So take the western contract with the longbowmen. Longbowmen are fun for even just defending. So defending or picking things off, their range is just awesome. The only time I really differ from that is if I'm playing into night civs. I'll actually go for the ones where you get javelin throwers, and then I won't do this either. I won't go stable. I'll open up barracks, because then I can go. I think they're Limitine. Sorry, no idea how to pronounce that. Spearmen. I can go spearmen into the knights, and then I can use the javelin throwers to counter the inevitable archers. So 7 evens, just looking around, right? We've got the 2 desert raiders. He wins this trade until we see this coming through, right? So Delhi doing what Delhi does best. They're going to probably go for the sacred sites, and they're probably going to push this through. We still don't know what they're doing. Can I actually see this? So not sure if they've gone Tower of Victory. Not sure if they've gone the Dome of Faith. Doesn't really change much other than and then attack speed bonus, right? So here's what I thought. I was going to send my first horseman out rather than sending him at the group of archers so that he inevitably just dies. We're going to send him at the monk, and all that's going to do is let me pull these units away, right? I know that these units are pushing in. I'm struggling here, trying to figure out what to do. 7 even at this point has made the call that he's going fast castle, so he's already going up, and all I need to do is stall, right? So I'm either going to have him defend me with like gulams, or maybe he gets out one of those camel lancers, like a knight equivalent. Either way, that shuts down absolutely everything that's going on here, right? Me sending out this horseman slowed down the gold production, so Delhi's a little bit slow here. And now all the call is just hold, hold, hold. He's already dropped the barracks, and he's already got gulams coming out. So as soon as those gulams come out, we can start our push in here. And I'm just trying to settle back into what I'm doing. So dusting off the cobwebs, it's my really only excuse here. Villager production's a little bit lacking. I'm floating way too close in what I want to do here. Panicking a little bit about, oh, I need production, I need units now. So this does not need to be 10 villagers. This is silly. Right, there's a lot of things here where improvements can be made, but all I'm trying to do is make sure that I balance out my eco, make sure that I can pump out units so that when we go to take this fight, we inevitably win. I think we wait for, yeah, so I've got another round of longbows coming, and I've got these horsemen producing. So a couple of quick notes about Byzantines. Their cisterns, when they're linked up, they actually have different benefits. I could have probably toggled this over to the damage if they had pushed in harder, but what I like to do for at least one of them is have it on Conscriptio, just so that I can do the units, and then have the other one on Dialectus, just so that I can get some of those research items first. This was a mass of archers, where he decided to come and step forward to attack my longbows, which is fine. You know, you want to try and whittle down the archer ball so they're not just free hitting you, but him stepping forward just let the Ghulams and the horsemen get around him. And by this time, this fight's already done, right? Towered up, that's fine. Ghulams can take that damage, horsemen can take that damage, and this is now a lost position. I don't really know why Delhi switched into Spearman. He's already seen the longbows coming through, knows that there's a counter there, has seen the Ghulam, so knows that there's a counter there, and all I think we're trying to do here is now hold this position. So from here, what do we try to do? Well, Ghulams are already going to do the damage. Horsemen are going to clear up this sacred site. And then I think we can just hold this center position every time he steps forward with, you know, anything my longbows can whittle down. There's that. And now we just look at either building up or pushing forward. We figured we were doing fairly well here. Right, my lonely scout doing silly things. We figured we were in a fairly good position here. 7 even's already castle, so he's just doing what he does best here. He's got a whole bunch of production going down. At some point he's going to drop down a monastery or a mosque because he knows he can go pick up the relics behind that. And I'm just looking at balancing this out so that I can get a whole bunch of units going and stream things forward. As we start to push in here, right, ideally, well, it doesn't matter in this case. Ideally, you do this with siege, right? You have a little bit of siege that you can push in behind it, maybe drop a ram or two. But these Ghulams can tank damage so well, it doesn't even matter. Like this TC is free hitting. He still hasn't lost a Ghulam. There, that's his first one. Right, he's lost the first one just running units through. This is a mistake for myself. There's no reason for me to be sitting here. And if we go and take a look back at my base, a couple of things to fix up, right? I finally decided to drop the blacksmith. I drop it here because this is the cistern that'll have the research rate production increase. So all of the items that you're inevitably going to research from here are now well within that sphere of influence. So I could drop siege engineer. It's going to take me 19 seconds, and then steeled arrow as well. So that's all going to come through. And behind that on my end, we're going to drop a couple more stables just so that we can pump out some more horsemen. 7 even in the meantime, he's dropped his own blacksmith. He's getting that first one coming through. He's dropped a mosque, so he's going to start looking at picking up relics. And we're just kind of free running units into their base. One thing I think we noted here is that as we started to push in, Ayyubids went age 3, so they went castle age behind that. Doesn't really do much except for now that there's probably some lancers that could come through. I think at some point here I remember seeing crossbows. And again, I'm just trying to keep Delhi off those sacred sites. So running the horsemen around. If these were spearmen, I couldn't do this as quickly, right? That was, I think, the call of why I didn't want to do spearmen. I wanted to be able to run around. You notice that I float a whole bunch of resources here, and I kind of go, do I want to age up? Do I not want to age up? Do we want to sit in this age for a while? And that call was here. There's no reason to float that many resources if you're not going to age up. So it was either age up or drop a whole bunch of production all at once. I love this from the AOE goods. So as soon as this mango fires, he's got the, I think it's, yeah, well, I always want to call it the Greek fire, but I think here's the Greek fire right here. Just those molten rocks, molten stuff that he's throwing. It just looks so cool. And then this is the kind of start of pushing in. These Ghulams tank towers for days. Horsemen just running around can pick off archers, can pick off these crossbows, right? These aren't armored units, so I can just run these crossbows down. We're still producing villagers slowly behind this, but as we're going here, we're slowly pushing in, doing as much damage as we can. We figured we had this one in the bag at this point. Oh, I love this. 7 even gets off the Wololo. The monk dies, but he still gets it off, and then these units go neutral. I've actually never seen this, so this made me question whether or not we had already beaten one of them in the game, right? Because they just went neutral, went gray. I've only seen that when someone resigns. Ghulam's running amok, just tanking damage. Bread started to get some Ghulams running through as well. Did a little bit of work. Horsemen do fairly well picking them off. You can see, like, this is the laughable moment here. These do nothing. That's a full volley from 12, and it tickles, right? So horsemen are the better option there. I think going castle was good too. I could have eventually switched into crossbowmen if I wanted. Just want to see quickly what I can talk through here. Third cistern going down on a mill, just so that I can start to get, you know, some influence on those farms, and then the surrender drops anyways. So we've knocked one out, and that was it. That was the game. Lots of dust, lots of cobwebs to kind of shake off. A couple of questionable eco moments for myself, but really this was just I stall until 7 even hits castle, and then we just start pushing in. Not a bad game all in all, and that was one of our plat games.